This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
No matter which way you go, no matter which way you stay, you're out of my mind, out of my mind, out of my mind, out of my mind. I was walking with the ghost. I said, please don't insist. I was walking with the ghost. I said, please don't insist. No matter which way you go, no matter which way you stay, you're out of my mind, out of my mind, out of my mind, out of my mind. I was walking with the ghost. I said, please don't insist. I was walking with the ghost. I said, please don't insist.
Welcome to the 8th episode of Row 1, Seat 1. This is Ben, aka Boston Nuga. This is part 2 of a 2-part series of my live road trip. This episode is going to focus on Black Label Pro. I'm going to interview Mikey Blanton, the promoter of Black Label Pro. I'm also going to interview his fiancee, Jess. Black Label Pro is a promotion based out of Crown Point, Indiana. They've been running for about 2 years now, and I went to their show about 2 weeks ago, and this is going to be sort of a 24/7 piece, kind of like we did with Kevin Koo last week. Just talking about their show. There's something about Barry. Talks about a little bit about their promotion with Barry Windham, their show with they had a Marco Stunt versus Brian Alvarez main event. They had a great Ethan Page versus Gary J match. They had a hell of a match between Jordan Grace and Kobe Durst, and they had a really, really fun match with Jake Parnell and Spider Nate Webb at their show. So we're going to talk about all those matches. We're going to talk about what goes into a Black Label Pro show. Very different than what goes into a Southern Underground Pro show. So I think you really find it interesting, the contrast between the two promotions, what goes into one as opposed to what goes into another. So I think it'll be really different than last week's show, but similar as well. But before we do that, I want to talk about the Place to Be Nation feed. In the Place to Be Nation pop feed and the series finale of DC Post-Christ Management, Russell Sellers and guest Todd Weber take a look at Heroes in Crisis complete Russell's journey. Russell and Todd then announce the debut of their new podcast, DC for You. In the first episode of this weekly show, the guys kick off celebrating the anniversaries of Batman and Batman 89. The Hard Traveling Fanboys wrap up Avengers Month with a farewell to the Hard Travelers for Hire series with a giant-size edition complete with the all-star panel and a comprehensive ranking of the MCU movies. In the 20th edition of Songs with Friends, Steve and Kelly feature Bob Seger's Night Moves, oh yeah, and Third Eye Blind's Semi-Charm Life. The NBA team is back with Gone Fishing Part 2 as Andrew and Adam go west. The second edition of PTB E-Ticket Attraction finds host Jason Sherman and guest Andy Atherton, Neil Trauma, and Chad Campbell talking everything Epcot. Epcot's a fun place, man. Be sure to keep an eye on our social media feeds as the reboot of the Greatest Song of the 80s tournament is starting soon. Over in the Place to Be Nation Wrestling feed, on the Place to Be podcast, Justin Scott and guest John D'Amato wrap up the summer with a hot review of SummerSlam 89. That was a hell of a podcast, actually. On a new Talking WCW, I can talk, really. Jenny, Tim, and Greg discuss a trio of matches featuring the natural Dustin Rhodes. In the 7th edition of Row 1, Seat 1, I welcome Southern Underground Pro Kevin Koo and get a behind-the-scenes look at their latest main event. Scott Criscolo, Nate Milton, and Steve Willie recap Double or Nothing and Classic TNA in the newest edition of Main Event. And on PlaceToBeNation.com, check out the newest Draft Wars, in which Place to Be Nation staff members drafted takeover matches, pick the best roster, and vote for your favorite. Also available on the site is the latest installment of Place to Be Nation's Excellence WWE Network Adventure with an in-depth look at Mid-South Wrestling from 5/26/84. Check out our social media pages and message board at bigelow34.proboards.com for information on joining our GWWE, PPV, and TV Match Ever project. Get in the conversation today and start researching your list. All right, I'm here with Mikey Blanton. Mikey is the promoter of Black Label Pro out of, I guess, ostensibly Crown Point, Indiana is your home, correct?
Yeah, that's where all the shows are at. Well, mostly.
Yeah, most of them. Yeah, and you've been running for a little over almost a year and a half, 2 years now, right?
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in September.
Fantastic, fantastic. And you're a dear friend. God, I've known you. We've known each other in some way, shape, or form for 12 years now. You are one of my dearest friends. We first met on the Figure 4 online message board. And you've been a dear, dear friend for a very, very long time.
How's it going, everybody? That's kind of crazy that we were just at a show with Brian.
Yeah.
This past weekend.
I know, which you booked. You booked Brian. You're one of the people who booked Brian. And
yes,
you have a storyline with Brian. In fact,
yes.
And Brian is a very integral part of Black Label Pro. Brian Alvarez, that is, Wrestling
Correct.
Observer Figure 4 Weekly, and the major domo of Figure 4 Weekly. And Brian has brought so many people together. From the wrestling world, through the message board and through just through everything and through Meltzer and all that. So Brian Alvarez, for all the criticism he gets, deserves a lot of praise as well. I must give him credit where credit is due.
Good.
So speaking of Brian, Black Label Pro is not your first promoting venture. This is true.
Yes. I think most people know it now, but I had a company called Fight Sports Midwest in 2007, and Brian wrestled the late great Larry Sweeney on.
May he rest in peace.
Yes, and a couple times in that time. Once on a regular show, and then once we did something with Chikara. But yeah, it was that was great. It just wasn't my time. I'll just say that it wasn't my time to really run shows and put everything into it. But now, things are good. Things are running smoothly.
So what gave you the idea almost 2 years ago to get into the promoting game again? Because you had Fight Sports Midwest for a little while. You ran 2 shows. People would think, okay, he got it out of his system a little bit. But you caught the bug again.
Yeah. I don't like super indies. That's not really my jam. I thought that there was nothing really in this area, like in kind of like Northwest Indiana. It's all like shindies, and there was just nothing good. So I was like, okay, well, I could kind of do my own type of thing. So I just started booking some goofy shit, and here we are.
And goofy shit. I refer to your booking as an acid fever dream.
Yes.
And I'm
I used that recently. we announced a Hornswoggle versus Jordan Grace match, and I said it was a fever dream match, and I actually got that phrase directly from you.
Oh, I'm touched. I'm absolutely touched. Did you have connections in the wrestling industry, or did you go into this totally cold?
I still had some people I kind of talked to, but like others I didn't really talk to that much. It was just kind of like the more I was doing it, and like a lot of people would say that, hey, you have hustle, you're trying to make this work, you're trying to do everything you can. So it was just kind of like a mutual respect that kind of grew, and now I can't even imagine life without it.
Because that first show had Riddle, Tom Lawler. I mean, who was on that first show? That was you had the All-Star game of All-Star games for that first show.
The Sandman was on that show. Ernest the Cat Miller was on that show. But we worked out a bunch of sponsors for that first show, so it was we went in making money. It was which isn't something that happens normally. So it's okay, and because it was a whole thing where a few days before, Gabe Sapolsky, hit us up after he had said that we don't need to split flights. It was fine. Then he asked for a flight share, and he's just he's a real piece of shit. So
it's okay. It's okay. You're on my. You can say whatever you want, buddy.
I don't care.
So you went into that first show, and even though you knew you'd make money on that first show, did you think this would be a consistent thing, or did you think that would be a one-off and you'd get it out of your system?
Oh no! I knew because I already had the second show planned out.
Okay.
Like I was going for it. Yeah, this wasn't like a because like I remember MLW. I thought it was just gonna be a one night deal. Like I think that didn't they say it was like a one shot or something? I don't remember. But like I knew it was like a one thing, and they're like, hey, we're just gonna do a company. And but we kind of knew we were gonna do it. Pretty much every month or every other month or something like that.
Well, last week I had Koo on, and he said we did this as a joke to see if we could do one show, and ended up being successful, so the joke just kind of kept going on.
Well, yeah, like that's the whole thing. It's like it has to grow organically in order for it to work. You can't force something to grow. It either is going to or it's not. And like just put your time into it and put stupid ideas into whatever and just try. That's what I think is missing in wrestling is like people are afraid to try new things.
Now, you mentioned something a bit ago that I hope promoters who are listening to this hear. You said the word sponsors, and that's almost a dirty word in the wrestling industry. You actually get sponsors for your show, and that helps pay for a lot of what you do. How do you go about this? Is it just hustle? Is it salesmanship? Give the basic 101 on how to get sponsors.
Well, there's like you got to have a certain hustle. You got to show them like a loyalty to their brand, and then you got to pay them respect. I'm just joking. It's John Cena. No, I was trying to do that. Like it just fitted in casually. That was literally a joke that all these people are gonna be like, "What is going on?" And I did it just to make you laugh.
And it worked in context too. That's the shitty thing. It totally worked in context.
I'm such a piece of shit. No. Yeah, we just contact people. Like I used to. Like I'm an operating engineer now, and before I did that, I delivered for Domino's for years, and I contacted Domino's, and that. Like there was the owner of the franchises around there, so I got a hold of him, and there's a hair cutting place in Crown Point called McFly's. It's the best place to get a haircut. They were involved. There's another hair cutting place that was involved. There was just like a lot of different things. It was cool, and all of them got involved. So it was you just gotta keep trying. You're gonna be told no a lot. That's the one thing I've learned. It's like, being the nerdy kid in high school, you're gonna be turned down quite a bit, but eventually some, fellow nerdy girl will go out with you. And
is it one thing too where one sponsor begets another? You can say, "Hey, I got Domino's," so another sponsor will listen to you, and find you more legitimate.
Yeah, that kind of helped too, because like the coolest thing about the Domino's deal was like that we got distribution on their pizza boxes. So like we put flyers. So I would order flyers, 4,000 or 5,000 at a time, because they would be sent all over Northwest Indiana. So that was like almost like if there was no financial amount of money, that still would have been a good deal. But it was like that's why we were going with the family friendly thing. Actually, in February of this year, it was. Or March of this year was the last one that we were. The Domino's was our presenting sponsor. They are no longer our presenting sponsor because they wanted it to be PG, and I want to have a little bit more fun. So that's why there's, a little bit more saying shit and bitch and like more intensity. Yeah. It's like it's still like it's not like crazy where you can't bring your family, but it's like there's more to it to where. Yeah, absolutely, and that's a risk for us because that's turning down money, but I don't know, it's gonna work out.
So you had this, you had the sponsorship game and stuff like that. It started. Has it grown to be more successful, or have you hit bumps in the road show by show by show? Has it built on itself?
Well, it's kind of like the whole thing with it is like it. I feel like we're always in a rebuilding phase. because like it's like we will do something and we'll hit like a certain level, and then we kind of have to start fresh again to hit another goal. Like it's like there was one point where our ticket sales were only okay, so I was like, oh, how could we supplement that? And that's where we started like our T-shirt thing, the blpmerch.com, and we put like a price point on T-shirts for $15, and and like with shipping, it's $20, just like you'd buy them at a show.
Yep.
And to me, like that's most people don't order shirts online because they're too expensive. Like most people sell them for $20-$25 plus the shipping and handling. Then it's that's $30. Yeah, but like for us, $30-$35, you're getting 2 shirts, and that's like, and that has really worked out in our favor. Like it's it's been kind of a cool thing of like an influx of like other ways of making money in wrestling, and we have a lot that we're cooking up too that we'll see about shortly.
One thing I noticed, just because I've been to a few of your shows, is you do great walk-up. Is that just because the community support you get, or is it is that a Northwest Indiana thing or Chicago area thing, or what do you attribute that to?
See, I'm a walk-up guy too. Like, it's like, yeah, there's like a lot of community people that do come in, and then there's also like just people that's just what they do. I'm the same way. If I know that like there's a chance I'm going to get in at the door, but that's the thing with this new building. Like, that's not going to be like July. Like, I fully expect July to sell out like long before the July 27th date, because there's Ricky Steamboat and there's Tennille Dashwood, who was Emma in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Like, both of them would normally be like a autograph headliner, and they're both going to be at this next show. So it's like tickets are moving pretty quick, but yeah, because there's only we say 200, but there's like about 230 tickets that we could sell, and it's usually we have our people that have already bought. Like almost always there's about 20-30 people that'll buy tickets ahead of time. So then by the time it's pre-sale, it'll be 200 tickets that we could sell.
So you have that background. You're building up. You did your WrestleMania. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I want to talk about too. So you're establishing a name. You have the opportunity to do the WrestleMania show. The collective show, the WrestleMania weekend show. And I had talked to you when you had made that decision. That was what, September, October?
September. I made the decision.
What made you make that decision?
I know that our show is different, and I believed in it. And it was funny because like our original plan for the main event was Marco Stunt before he got hurt. He was going to team with PCO before he got signed to face Brian Alvarez and Filthy Tom Lawler.
Welp.
And Filthy Tom Lawler had his contract with MLW, and they wouldn't allow talent because of whatever. It's fine. PCO got signed to Ring of Honor exclusive, which is there's no dissension, no quote unquote heat with him. He's the best guy. I talk to him all the time still. Just like that's one guy that's like he's had so much success, but he's the same guy.
Really?
He is the best guy. Like I went to Madison Square Garden over WrestleMania weekend, and he got me tickets to go see him back at MSG, and like we talked the next day about it, and just like I'm not even ashamed to admit, like I had like tears in my eyes when I saw him come out, just because like the look on his face was just pure joy.
Well, I was there. It was a hell of an entrance. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was just the best. He's like there's certain people in the wrestling business that just like they're next level human beings, and he's one of those people.
Who are some of those? Because you went into Black Label, not knowing a lot of people in the wrestling industry. Have you made a lot of other really good relationships?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I have. There's a lot of people that like I would.
In and around wrestling too, not just the wrestlers themselves, but like
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like are the people that help with BLP, the behind the scenes people.
Are some of my favorite people in the world, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. Obviously there's my fiance Jess, who is irreplaceable. And there's, Brandon and Jason, the people that have helped me, since day one. And they do music. The Chavezes who do merchandise, and Michael does all of our video stuff. And yeah, it's just like, Tyler, Nancy, all these people, they're all like so great and so helpful. Greg, Greg has been our ticket guy since the very beginning. He organizes it all, and he's so calm and collected, and I'm not at all. I'm going around yelling at everyone, just trying to. I'm Dylan Hales of the North.
Well, that's funny because when I come up, you say, Ben, you're in charge of keeping me sane.
And you do that, and you absolutely do that.
I try.
And I send you out for the plunder.
You do send me out for plunder, and it makes me so happy. But
I know.
But how do you put this team together? I guess that's another question too, because you guys have such an efficient team of behind the scenes people. Did you know you were going to have these people? You said, when I started promote, I'm going to have Jason, I'm going to have Brandon, or did you just kind of met these people along the way?
I knew those people. Like I knew Jason and Brandon, and I knew Jess, of course. Were going to be helping me. And then it was funny because like before our first show, like we didn't know Nancy like at all. Like I knew her from shows, and we were just like, or she asked, she's like, "Hey, can I help out?" And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great if you could help us with concessions, And then it has just grown and grown and grown, and like
she's the hardest working human being on the planet.
Yeah, she's great, and that's the whole thing. It's like we have this, like, it's like this team, like the amount of pressure that I put on, and I'm sure you'll talk to Jess, like the amount of pressure that I put on her of just my fiance, like just of like the average everyday things that need to be done, and like, hey, I need you to do this, hey, blah blah. Like just last week, Trey Lamar forgot his jacket because he's a dumb shit. He forgot his jacket, which is like a custom made denim jacket, and I knew he had J-Lit coming up, and I just was like, hey Jess, I need you to mail this. Like, so she had to, get the kids in the car. Or no, they walked. They actually walked to the post office and mailed it up. I mean, like, literally, like, this is the stuff that, like,
this is after a show.
Yeah, this is after a show. But, like, there's always something going on.
So let's talk about this show a little bit here.
Okay.
It's your second time at this gym.
Yeah, which is our new home.
Your new home. You're already at the RDS gym in Crown Point.
Yes.
So you have
great atmosphere there. Great atmosphere.
It's a wrestling. This is a wrestling venue. This feels much more like a wrestling venue than the previous place.
Absolutely, it does.
This is like wrestling happens here. I absolutely love it.
Yes, we have had 2 shows there, and they've both been home runs.
Absolute home runs there. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I wish the air conditioning was on, but aside from that,
truth be told, I did not know how to turn on the air conditioning until about halfway through the show, which this is a new venue, so
okay.
Like next time that will not be an issue.
Fair. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Cool, good. And also the temperature outside came down too, so we opened up the doors, and halfway through the show it got a lot better.
But, absolutely.
But it was it was totally fine. Also, we were working up a sweat because we were working our tails off because I want to have you on after Koo, because Koo, basically his thing is completely plug and play. He just shows up at the venue, he sets up the ring, and plugs into the laptop, and he's good to go. You are not that way.
No.
Like, at all. Like, what does your to-do list look like a week before the show, a month before the show, the day of the show? Like, how far out are you planning for There's Something About Barry?
Okay, like to give an example, like right now, We're gonna have a tournament in September. I have most of the participants in the tournament already, confirmed, like already. So it's June now. So this is the Barry Windham was one I chased after for a while. WrestleMania in New Orleans, I paid to get a picture with him because I knew I wanted to book him eventually. So I paid for the picture, and I was like, hey, I would like to get your contact. I'd love to bring you in. And we could never get the timing right. And then finally, we had the timing right and kind of worked out a deal for him to come in and do a seminar and come in and sign autographs and stuff like that. And it was he was the best guy. He's a great guy.
And you'd think out of the box too, because he had told me that he's not a seminar guy.
This was his first time he's ever done a seminar. And he just has so much knowledge, and he even told the guys afterwards, hey, if you have any questions or anything you want to know, just come and talk to me. I'll be over here. Come and talk to me. So realistically, this seminar could have lasted all day if you chose, to be, to pick apart his brain, I guess.
But you just decided Barry Windham would be a really cool guy to have. And he's a guy who has a ton of knowledge, so I want to seek him out. And that's why I like your brain, because you think out of the box where, the normal people would have the same 10 seminar guys. You say, you know what? No, Barry Windham, even though I know he's not a seminar guy, that's the sort of guy I want to have. Yeah,
absolutely. Because there's quite a few people that, we have announced Ricky Steamboat doing a seminar in July, but we're going to have a seminar in August. We're going to have a seminar probably in November. And we have these people locked down already. October. We have these people locked down already that are, a couple of them aren't necessarily seminar guys, but have so much knowledge that I expect, some good stuff.
Are seminars really important to you as a promoter?
Yes, they are, because all these kids think that they know everything and they don't know shit, and they need to get better. Because there's there are certain people that come and like Jake Parnell is our Indiana State champion, and he does every seminar we do, and he's not one that's like, hey, I work here. He wants to pay for them. He wants to get better and learn and all this stuff, because he wants to be better.
Well, Cabana Man Dan is a 15-year vet, and he drove with me from Alabama.
Absolutely. He's Cabana Man Dan is one of we had our Unplugged show in February, and I think 4 or 5 people from that show got jobs off of that show, and he is definitely one of those people, just because he's a really good guy, and he is over, and he works really hard. There's every reason why you'd want to use someone.
But he's 15 years in the business, and he's still doing seminars, and he wants to do every seminar on the planet.
Oh yeah, because he wants to. Because you're never perfect. You're never. There's a lot of guys that think that they're great, and they're jack shit compared to all these guys. So, learn.
So does the idea of the show begin with the seminar and then you go from there?
No, I added the seminar later.
Okay.
Because originally we were supposed to be in Highland for this show.
Okay.
It was supposed to be our return to the Lincoln Center, and they kind of screwed us out of that building. And then Psychosis was supposed to be on the show, and Psychosis had some.
Okay.
Yeah, he was supposed to have, or he had some visa issues, which are cleared up. We have a date for him later in the year.
Forgot that was supposed to be the show. Yeah.
Yeah, so Psychosis is going to come in later, and so we had that happen, and then Barry finally got back to me. He's like, "Oh, hey, this one works for me." I'm like, "Great!" I mean, it was literally the day that Psychosis canceled that I got a text from Barry Windham saying, "I was like, it was fate." I was like, "Okay." The show was called Wrestling Returns because it was at the or the Lincoln Center in Highland. So we just changed the name to, because like I knew whenever I brought in Barry Windham, I was going to call it "There's Something About Barry," because to your chagrin, I will always use puns for the show titles just to make you cringe.
No, I love it. I actually do love it because I know you, and it's very Mikey Blanton.
Yeah, it's forever.
So you had the date lined up. Do you basically have an open deal with RDS Gym now, where you're just going to run there from now on? Or are you still going to venture out to South Bend? Are you still going to venture out to Highland Park? Are you still going to venture out to these different places, or are you going to pretty much stay pat at RDS?
Well, no, that's gonna be our home.
Mm-hmm.
Like South Bend was like a real disaster.
Sure.
Overall, like the crowd was really low, and there's behind the scenes stuff like with a sponsor pulling out that really fucked us like in a lot of ways. But like we knew that we had to buckle down and regroup, and put out a banger of a show, and There's Something About Barry, and I know we did that, and it's showing based on our streaming on IWTV and the ticket sales for July, that people were pleased and that they want to come back, and that's a good thing.
And it was still a good show. It looked different.
Oh, of course, of course, yeah. I like the way that the footage looks, because it's like I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's clean looking footage. Like it works out like to where you see everything. Like there's, like I don't know if that's I'm sure the stuff would have worked like if it had our old lighting rig and stuff like that, which we could still have if we wanted to. The whole reason we don't set that up is so we could fit more people in that place. Because to me, what would I rather have, the lighting or an extra 10, 15 people inside the building? Like I'm always going to pick that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you planned out the venue. You got the venue all set up, and RDS is very accommodating. You got Barry Windham all set up. You pretty much already booked the card out months in advance. What is your week of the show look like? Not day of the show, but what is your week of the show? What are you doing week of the show?
Okay, week of the show, usually I am paying people. I like to pay ahead, because like to me that's showing a trust thing to the performers and talent. And then also it's like sometimes people don't have money the week of the show, and like they got to get there and all that. Like to me, I would rather have the money up front to like, to get there, to get through life, man. Like life is, it's hard enough as is. And then like, because I know there's a lot of promoters that will pay after and they'll get you later, Virginia, and like things like that. Like but like I don't want to do business that way, because I would rather them, everyone paid ahead of time. Like I have people paid already for August, because like we already worked out a deal, and like I was like, all right, well I'll just pay you now so I don't forget, and so now I know I have them marked as paid, and they're already done. It's already taken care of. July, same thing. They're just already taken care of, and so that I'll pay the people. Usually I'll meet with the crew and we'll kind of decide like things we need to get done. Jessica does all the shopping for the concessions, because I work 60 hours a week, and then and we have a couple of kids too, and then I always stress out like about, all right, were these the right matches? Like, is this the right thing? And then I'll put the match order together, and I do it in a way to where it flows. And like I have a formula now, and I've used it the past few shows, and I think the formula is finally like perfect. Like it is, like, because like before it's always like the title match needs to go last, and I don't necessarily agree with that, because like if that's not the most intense thing you have going, or the most whatever thing you have in the show, it shouldn't have to go last. It shouldn't be last just because it's a title match.
Do you seek out, because I know it's just you booking,
Yes.
do you seek out opinions, or is this your baby?
On occasion I do, but sometimes I'm just looking for yes men, just to make me feel better. I mean, to be honest, but there's like John Thorne. If I ask him advice, he always tells me the truth, and good or bad. There's Ethan Page does Alpha One, same thing. Even if it's that's and I do the same for him too, and I do the same for Thorne. It's and Danny Adams, all that brutal honesty. Because none of us are going to get better if we freaking pat each other's asses and tell them everything's going to be okay. We always brass tacks on everything, and just
So there's a network, really.
Dude, yes. There really is. It's there's I always try when I bring someone in, I always try contacting people hey, do you want to split, something Matt Nix from Freelance, same thing, just the easygoing motherfucker, he is, just a good guy. And so we'll all kind of work together, and we'll all save money and coordinate these things. And there's a lot of times where it's Freelance on Friday or AIW on Friday, then us, and then Glory Pro on Sunday. So people will get a loop going for to make things work out. It's pretty cool.
Or even down to Nashville, even Sup, which is the loop I did last week.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't there's never really any when I'm talking about flight shares and things like that. Sure. We don't really do that with Sup very often. A lot of the same
faces appear, is my point.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The driving people, mm-hmm. Correct. Yes, because they budget their shows differently than I do, mm-hmm. which is it's great. They have a great product.
Yeah, and that's I see a lot of similarities, even though it's really funny because you're in different parts of the country, but I frequented both your shows enough that I see similarities, even though you kind of have a lot to do with each other, but you also have nothing to do with each other, and it's just I find it absolutely hysterical. Just the commonalities.
And here's the funny thing: I will talk to Koo I don't want to say often, but a decent amount, and we never talk business. We just talk about whatever. We don't ever talk about we'll talk about his matches for me, but we don't ever talk about our company business ever. I don't know why we don't, but we just don't do it because I have no idea, no issues or anything, but we just don't ever do it. We just talk about other bullshit because we're just buddies.
That's awesome. So you get the week of the show. So you really do hold a pre-production meeting.
Of course,
I find that interesting.
Yeah, because here's the thing about that. It's in the words of Brian, plans change, and they really do. Because though, when you're trying to put everything together and you have so many bodies around, things change. People aren't there on time, all that stuff. It's rough.
Are you a list guy? Are you put everything down on paper and this person does this person does this, or are you kind of a fly by the seat of your pants type?
Jessica is a list person.
Fair.
And I am a Jessica person.
You are. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Of course. Yeah, that stuff gets done. There'll be times where I'll ask a decent basic task for people to do, and a lot of times it doesn't get done, and then I have to do it myself, and then I'll yell at everyone, and it's it is what it is. But there's we're cracking down on being more organized, I guess. But this last show, I wasn't as intense, I would say about the times. Like normally I'll yell at people like, "Hey, stick to your times, stick to your times." And so this show like went pretty long, but it was awesome. Like people were feeling the crowd and just feeling it out there, and I didn't feel like any match dragged. Like Shaza and Kylie Ray, they're probably out there 13 to 15 minutes, and they killed it the entire time, had the crowd with them, and they finished at the right time. It was awesome.
Are you flyering before shows too? Like, because that's one
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that Koo and
Oh,
Jesse,
yeah.
that Koo really talked about, is that him and Jesse coming from the punk background, is that flyering is paramount for them. You don't come from that punk and hardcore background, but is flyering a big thing for you as well?
Oh yeah. That's another thing Jess does. Like a lot of them, they'll take stuff around. I'm actually going to for probably our August show. I'm going to be doing bigger signs and making deals to put up bigger signs to show the address and like who our special guest for August is going to be and all that to kind of that's not necessarily final yet, so I'm not going to normally I would give you the scoop, but
cool.
it's not final, so I don't want to give it away yet. Mick Wrestling though, everyone be ready.
You can text it to me later.
Yeah, I will.
So your production meeting is a day or two before the show. Show day comes. What does your day look like? Because Koo gave me a picture of what his day looks like. He says he tries to have a normal human moment the day of the show. You have a family. Do you try to do that as well, or you wake up at 8 and you are in show mode from minute 1?
Yeah, kind of. Like it's like I said, like I have kids, man.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wake up and like they gotta eat. That like diapers need to be changed and they all that. But like this show, because normally I have a lot of people going to the airport for me. This show I actually had to go get Alley Cat and Barry Windham from the airport and take them to their hotel. So that was like, and this was like kind of an early start show. So I left probably at 6 a.m. and I got home about probably 9 after I dropped them at the hotel and got all that. Got them at 9 or got home about 9, maybe 10, and took a shower. Because the car, like our merchandise was already loaded up because the Midwest mixtape the week before. Mm-hmm. So Michael and Melanie Chavez, they kind of loaded that up already. So that was so we didn't have to worry about that for this show. But we had to load up like the soda and the soda and the chips and all that stuff, and just get the kids ready and go.
Because this show started earlier. You usually run night shows, right?
Now we're at this building, so we're gonna do afternoons, and like it's worked out very well for like, people's schedules and things like that. And like, starting in July, we're gonna start having after parties. We had one in South Bend. It was really great. We all went out drinking afterwards. It was just a good time, and so the show ends 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then we could go to our after party location and have a good time and keep the party going.
Is that a John Thorne idea?
It was actually the sponsor idea.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I know Thorne's really big on the after party thing.
Oh, yeah, and it is great. That's why I went with it. Was absolutely John Thorne. Like if it wasn't for John Thorne and that podcast, I wouldn't be running right now. I've told him to his face. I've said it on his podcast. I've said it, over and over. It's absolutely the truth. The two big bullet points were John Thorne and Chandler Biggins would always talk about, running shows, and like it's funny because they're talking about the bad stuff, but like it still gives you the itch. I swear. And then Dasher Hatfield would always write, "You should book me on your professional wrestling show," and I was like, I should book Dasher Hatfield on a professional wrestling show, and I did.
Thorne's podcast is so brutally honest, and I love every bit of it. It's so warts and all.
John Thorne. Here's John Thorne. Okay, And I have told him this at least 10 times. Oh man, I don't know if it's gonna work out. Oh gosh, I'm so nervous. This could happen. This bad thing could happen. Comes to the day of the show, sells fucking 400 tickets. It happens every damn time. I don't know why he gets nervous every time, because it literally happens every time. It's insane to me.
So
But-
show day comes, you get to the venue, and they let you. Is this venue a lot better about letting you in early as well? Like, do you basically have the rental of the whole day?
We rent it from noon until 9.
Okay.
And we're probably going to up it till 10 or maybe start at 11, because this next show we have limitations. We might even start at 11, because this next show we have limitations because right when we end on IWTV this time, what is it called? ICW New York is going to be running.
Sure.
So they're literally going to switch from our stream to their stream, and so we have time restraints, which it feels like Mania weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt Griffin, please come up to the next show so you can time this shit out for me, please.
When this is the Steamboat show?
Yes, Steamboat. Yes, we have our time restraints. I think we're allowed to go. I believe it's 2 hours and 45 minutes all in, which I could make it happen. It'll be fine, but it's still the pressure, you know.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, and Matt Griffin, promoter of Action Wrestling, for those of you who don't know, worked tirelessly behind the scenes at the Collective.
Oh yeah.
Because most people don't know this, how hard he worked that week, getting people to hit their time cues and timing these shows out and just getting everybody to be an efficient machine.
Oh yeah.
He was just and he went up there with no idea what he was doing either, because I drove him up and he said, "Oh, let's see if I can help out," and he was invaluable, absolutely invaluable.
Oh yeah.
When I talked to him.
It's the same. Hopefully, same thing for next year.
Yeah.
More info on that later.
Oh, good to hear. Good to hear. All right, so day of the show comes. You're in the building. What's your first crisis? Do you want to reveal what any of your crises are? Because everyone has those unforeseen crises. What are your crises?
Yeah, sure. The Cleveland car was going to be late, so we had to switch around a few matches, and to make it all work. Ethan Page versus Gary J was later in the card, but they ended up going second to kind of make it work. The Scramble, which was the opener, was supposed to be second originally. Yeah, so it was a whole thing. We had to keep moving stuff around, and that's the stuff that I hate the most, because I like to stick to a schedule, and I don't like seeing a bunch of arrows and stuff on my format. But it's, what can you do? But once it started and we could kind of get things flowing, it's you could feel the energy of it, and it still ended up working out. I still felt good about it.
How do you? Because I asked you this. How do you pick your guys for your scramble?
We had 3 of them ahead of time. I had Danhausen was in there, Danny Adams was already in there, and Logan James was already in there. I had those 3 automatically. They were going to be in there because I had already had them booked. And during the Barry Windham seminar, I was watching what people were doing, how they were interacting, all this stuff. And a lot of these people, a lot of people don't know this. When someone signs up for a seminar, I'm going to look them up to see what they could do, because you're already going to be there. So I'm like, hey, man, maybe I could use you. So, I know there's some people that think seminars are money grabs and all that. No, you're going to get better, and I'm going to look at you. There's so many people that send me emails all the time that, I'm sorry, man, I don't give a shit that you've been, wrestling in bumfuck Tennessee, and you like you've wrestled around there, and you're the freaking the whatever champion in this thing for 8 years. It doesn't matter to me because like I'm not going to watch your video unless I have a reason to be interested in you. But these people that come and show their face and I could see how they work in front of me, all that's different. I'm going to be able to see them, physically see them, and see what they could do and give my opinions, and that's how I go about it.
So let's get into the card a little bit. The show starts.
Okay.
Your walk-up gets in there pretty much. It seemed kind of like a, not necessarily late filtering crowd, but people kind of trickled in a little bit as the show was coming in.
Yeah, it was like I'll be honest, I was scared shitless like that during the first match. I was like, where the hell is everyone? But like it was funny because like I mean we advertised 4:30 start time. I mean, no less than 100 times, probably more. And trying like, and then someone showed up like at like 7 something, and they're like, hey, we only saw 3 matches. Can I get a refund? And I was like, well, we could work something out, but like you need to learn the times. Like it's not my fault you didn't show up on time for a show that has the time on the poster. We put the time on our thing. Like I don't know, like you couldn't show up to a concert and do that.
Yeah. And I was helping on the ticket door, and it was like I'm just like, there's a trickle, but then by match 2 or 3, the place was fucking packed.
Yes, yeah, it was cool. It was cool, and this like to give an example for July, we for the whole capacity that was at this show, we have about 25 more tickets already sold, and it's 2 months out.
That's awesome. And
yeah, it's great.
And you attribute that to Steamboat?
Yes.
Or your buzz, or I mean,
a combination.
Mm-hmm.
Combination. It's like that this show went well, Steamboat, and then like after we announced Emma, like it sold tickets, man.
So let's get into the show a little bit. The first match, I loved. The first match, the pre-show match, Cara Noya versus Sophie King. I'd never seen Cara Noya before. How did you find her?
She is a Eric Cannon girl.
Okay.
She's trained by Cannon, and she had hit us up a while back, and I was like, well, she's interesting. Like she has a different look than most girls do. Like, and I was like, okay, well, we'll see what she could do. And then I thought it was, she was good. And then Sophie's one of those that'll come and she'll help out. And
Sophie's a road warrior.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was fun. It's filmed. I only watched a little bit of it because I haven't seen it yet, but it'll be on YouTube eventually. Yeah. We'll put it up.
You start off with Tony Deppen and Travis Huckabee versus Violence is Forever, aka Sadconf. What made you?
No, we didn't. We were supposed to.
Oh, you were
start
supposed to. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going by the format here. You started
Yes.
off with the scramble, right?
Yes, the scramble was first. I believe that match was third. You were just talking about.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right.
And see, where I was trying to set the mood with that first match.
Gotcha. So you started off with the scramble, and who were the 3 people you ended up using in the scramble?
Oh man, Thomas Shire was one of them.
Who I love, by the way.
Aaron Williams was one of them, and he was real good too. And then
Ian loves him. Ian uses him a bunch.
Yes. And the last person was, oh gosh, I should know this. Thomas Shire, Aaron Williams. I cannot think of the last person that was in that scramble, but it's, I don't know. We'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, Aaron Williams, like very, very much so impressed me.
Yeah,
like he was kind of like a like he changed his look recently, because like his look before was kind of like just like a generic thing, and that's kind of why I didn't notice him that much. But yeah, like he was,
Comes
you
out
know,
in the shirt and tie, and he's like, I mean, he's different.
Yeah.
He's definitely different.
yeah, Matt Kenway was the last person in that match.
Kenway, that's right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
St. Louis car. Yep.
Yes. So, and he did the seminar as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's got a good look
And,
too.
and Thomas Shire has like the Jack Swagger, like kind of same body type, gear. Like it's like, and he was a huge Barry Windham fan. You could tell.
Oh yeah, Greg made the Jack Swagger comparison to me too when he was talking to me. He's like,
oh yeah, because I mean he has that long upper torso,
Yeah.
and yeah,
he kills it in Anarchy.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen a little bit of a shit. He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Probably see more of him.
So this match is notable because you did something that no one else is doing. You had Alley Cat come in, and then Alley Cat, the most lovable babyface on the planet, turned heel in a promo. You had her cut a heel promo. Was this your idea? Was this her? She wanted to do it. What motivates?
No, it's all me.
Okay,
It's all me. It's been in the works for about 6 months because it's she is a new millionaire, and
True.
this is a real life scenario of. I mean, we've all had those friends that like got a real good job and got a new house or whatever, and they just become fucking assholes, and that's just what happens when people get money. It's the truth.
Was she reluctant? How do you present this to? Because she's a sweetheart of a human being.
She is like an old vet, man. Whatever you ask, she's just gonna do it. Like she's never gonna argue about things like that, like booking or anything. Never.
She's great. She's absolutely great. I saw her at Sup the next day too, and she's just like, "Yeah, I'm a heel there." It's amazing.
She cut a great promo too.
It was a great
very,
promo.
Very
Great
impressed.
promo. Totally unexpected too.
Oh yeah.
No one saw it coming.
Yes.
Next match was my favorite match on the card: Ethan Page versus Gary Jay. And congratulations, you had me go from hating Ethan Page to I now like Ethan Page, which I'm sure you're cackling over. But this match may have converted me completely. This match was a fucking banger.
Oh yeah, yeah. They beat the shit out of each other and like just had an intensity and kept upping it and upping it and upping it. It was really good. Like Ethan Page is a better wrestler, like actually in ring than he gets credit for. But like it takes matches like this because if he doesn't want to, like work like this kind of style match, he won't. But like in BLP, he always does. He always just busts his ass.
Yeah, when he gets goofy is when I really don't like him. But when he wants
He doesn't.
to
He only did that like our first few shows because I was putting him in there with legends, and he needed to do something.
Yeah, he just I don't love him in Impact either, but when he wants to be he has the capability of being a shit kicker. And
Oh yeah,
he did that in the Kobe Durst match on the Collective as well, and it was fantastic because he can.
They've had two matches. They've had 2 matches in BLP, him and Kobe, and a third one will be coming shortly. I don't know when. Everybody wait and see. But like they always destroy each other every time. Like and just there's just a chemistry there of where they're just gonna click, and that's a good thing.
How much input do you have in the style of a match? Do you tell them to go out there and just beat the shit out of each other for 15 minutes, or do you give the wrestlers a lot of leeway in the tenor of a match?
I mean, most people, I just trust them to do what they're gonna do. Like, like Ethan Page, for example, I kind of let him just do his own thing because he wants us to succeed, so he knows what I want to see. But like, AJ Gray and Bear Bronson. AJ said, "What do I want?" He asked me, "What do I want?" And I just said, "All Japan." And he goes, "Yep, okay." And that was it.
Cool. So the third match was the tag match, correct?
Yes.
I love this because this was a Southern tag.
Yes, it was.
This was just wonderful. Tony Deppen and Travis Huckabee might as well have been the Rock and Roll Express.
Absolutely.
Was that your call as well, or did they come up to you and say, "Hey, we want to be the Rock and Roll Express"?
To be honest, we didn't have time to go over anything.
Okay.
I didn't know what they were going to do in the ring at all.
Oh, because the Cleveland car was late.
Yeah, they were late, and I was worried about other things, and I trust all four of those guys.
See, there's. Does it depend on? It depends on the trust level, then.
If I don't trust you, you're not going to work here.
Interesting. Okay. Gotcha. So then, fourth match was Trey Lamar and Jake Lander versus Space Pirates.
No, that was second to last match.
Oh, that's right.
because
That's right.
It got moved because I didn't want to do 2 tags in a row.
That's right. So what did you have run after that?
I think it was what was the match right after that? Like on the format?
AJ and Bear Bronson?
Yes, that was the
That's
next
right.
match.
That's right, yeah. AJ's a guy who's kind of come up.
He's got a chip on his shoulder, and I mean that in a good way.
He's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's come and gone in BLP. And I think he's really improved, especially over the last 3 to 6 months. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Yeah, he left BLP because I sent him away from BLP because I told him I didn't like his attitude. But then he's one of the few that instead of getting all shitty and whatever, he changed his attitude. And now he's featured prominently here because he did what I asked. And he has grown up a lot. He's a good guy. He tries so hard. He works so hard. So it's, there's others that have been sent away that just want to bitch and talk shit. And hey, man, they're still sitting at home and they're going to stay there.
He's one of my favorite people in wrestling too.
Yeah, he's great.
I love
good
that
guy.
Dude. Love that.
And
guy.
now he comes out to Motley Crue, which makes me happy.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
His musical tastes run the gamut.
Yeah, the best thing is I wake up for work at 3:15 in the morning, and I will always wake up to a message from him 10 minutes before. Hey man, this is gonna be my music now, and it'll be a music video of "Shout at the Devil" or something. It's okay, AJ, and he's like, what are you doing? Why are you up? I'm like, well, I have to go to work, man. It's awesome.
Bear Bronson's another one too. He's killing it on Uncharted Territory.
Oh yeah, yes. I will. Okay, how about this? I said breaking news. Here we go. Bear Country is debuting in July as a team.
Great. Those two dudes work so well together.
Oh yeah, it should be cool.
You were one of the first person to break him out of the Northeast as well. How did you kind of break him?
Unplugged.
Okay.
Him and some other people from his area contacted me, and it didn't work out with everyone local, that were with him, but he was one that I was like, what, I'm giving this guy a job. He has got a certain look, and he's not a fat guy, but I always use the phrase "fat guy wrestler," of where back in the day there used to be guys that had the barrel chest and the belly, that's we don't have that because everyone wants everyone to look the same with the six pack and the tan and the underwear trunks. It's
Koo referred to a wrestler last week as a meat mountain, and I'm just going to start referring to dudes as that.
Okay, there you go.
He's a meat mountain.
He is. Good guy too.
And then did you run Nate Webb and Jake Parnell after that?
Yes, which was
crazy.
That match. Okay, I will. I told them the same thing. I didn't have high expectations for that at all. Not that I thought it was going to be bad. It's just I was like, oh, that's just a match. And those guys are both so creative.
That was hammy as shit. That seemed very Mikey Blanton though, because they were doing basketball spots. They were doing using the Stunt Brothers as human weapons.
I take zero credit for that. That was all them. They thought up all of that stuff, like the Iron Maiden thing. Like they asked for it, and and that's the thing. It's like when guys ask for something and they have a passion for it, I'm always going to say yes. I'm absolutely always going to say yes.
Like
it's
New Jack but metal.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Jordan Grace asked me a few times before I allowed her to body slam a child. But it worked out. It's clearly. She sold a bunch of T-shirts now.
Then you ran intermission after that, I think, right?
Yes.
And then you, after that was Shazza and Kylie, correct?
Yes, you're going to have to see in this, Ben, on this podcast, you're going to have to yourself. With a lot of the ums.
I know I do. I do it terribly.
I've learned this.
I do it terribly.
So there was a podcast about podcasts that I listened to, and it was like all they talked about was that people say all the time, and I was like, I don't say it at all. I say it all the time, and we all do.
I know.
So we're all gonna fail forever. Don't worry about it.
Fail forever. So Shazza and Kylie was next. They actually came in late also.
Kylie did.
Okay.
Oh no, actually, no. Yes, they both did. Yes, correct.
Yeah. And they still had a banger of a match.
Yes, they did. Shazza's flight was delayed 3 hours, and she got in. Tyler brought her there. Good old Tyler, who's currently in England seeing the Spice Girls reunion.
Amazing.
And no, I'm not lying. So that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those girls killed it because they knew because Kylie's with AEW and those contracts kick in soon and they can't do anything. So this was their shot to have a match, and boy did they have a great one.
And again, that's another one where you just trusted them. You just trusted them. Go as long as you want.
Yes.
Take it as far as you want. I have faith in you.
Poor Basil got chopped in that match, so that was fun too.
Basil's a great guy.
Oh yeah.
After that, I think it was it was Sage and Logan versus Cabana Man Dan and Boomer, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Because you switched things around at this point.
Yes.
Where Cabana Man Dan was the tallest person. Which is amazing.
Yes. Yeah, it was insane. It was he was the tallest person in that match, full of just small men. And here's what I need to say about that match, okay? Boomer Hatfield has been wrestling for all of maybe a year, I think less.
Really?
Logan Stunt has been wrestling for 5 months, 4 or 5 months. They had a hell of a match that they put together, and they're working so hard. I think both Boomer and Logan both have a future in wrestling, and they're both going places. And obviously Cabana Man Dan was great already, and Sage always does a good job. He was having. Not in that match though. He's a great guy, but yeah, he wasn't great in this match.
I think you ran. Did you run the tag match after this, and then Jordan and Kobe?
The Jordan and Kobe, then the tag match.
Jordan and Kobe, then the tag match. Jordan and Kobe wasn't terribly long.
No, it was not.
Were you on time constraints at that point? Or?
No, it was. Jordan had hurt her neck via the pile driver, and was coming back out to claim her title shot because she had it. but she had her injured neck, and Kobe is a world-class athlete that, she was going against with she got attacked the week before at the Midwest mixtape, and then again by Alley Cat again. So it was kind of just a 1-2 punch. So she was at a big disadvantage going in.
And that storyline's making sense.
Yeah. At least I thought it was.
No, it is. It is completely. And you work storylines in from show to show to show where a lot of indies just say, we're vomiting out these matches. Here you go. Yeah,
that sucks. We're trying to keep things. Everything we do now is like we're trying to link it, even if it's like so subtle. We try to link little things, like just like little stuff.
From there, you had the tag match: Trey Lamar and Jake Lander versus Space Pirates. Again, this is storyline heavy.
Yes, because they're cheating motherfuckers.
They're cheating motherfuckers.
The Blood Diamond.
The Blood Diamonds.
Yeah.
Space Pirates are so good, by the way.
They are a great team. Yes, they have a big match in July that we will announce soon. And yeah, I know you'll love it. They're great. They're a great team. And the fact that Lander and Trey were kind of just they were put together to start teaming on these shows, because I thought they were both individually good athletes. Like, they are really clicking together.
No, they work together well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this was like their first like tag match, like of just because they won the titles in a 6-man.
Yeah. And then your main event, Brian Alvarez and Marco Stunt. This was a masterpiece. I'm a little pissed they didn't get to use all the weapons I bought, but still, again with the booking, was the family stuff your idea? They worked in the whole
everyone. Before we get into this, I have a story for you.
Fire away.
Not for you, you know the story, but this is for everyone listening. So young Ben went to the store and he got weapons, and one of the weapons he got was a toilet seat. Everyone, if anyone had gotten hit with that toilet seat that Ben purchased, they would either be in a coma or dead. This thing was like the most well-made toilet seat. So well-made that I have taken it home and I have it in our bathroom, and I'm going to put it on our toilet because it's a nice toilet seat. So, thanks for the toilet seat, Ben.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yes.
That was actually Lane idea. You can thank Lane.
Oh, well, thank you, Lane. I'm going to be, comfortable now on the toilet because of this, like, really nice, I was like, yeah, hey, we have this too, Brian. And he's like, I believe the exact phrase was like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? So, did you get a chance to talk to Brian?
Not that much, no. He was real busy with everyone else.
Yeah, because I do think it is wild that our connection is based off of that thing, that message board and all that. And it's kind of a full circle thing of just, like, it's funny because, like, there's so many people on Twitter, and, like, obviously I'm biased because he works for me and he's my friend and all that. But I do think I am able to separate, when people are right and wrong on things. And, like, I do think it is very funny when people try to make fun of him doing wrestling and all that stuff. When it comes to heel work
he's a
and all the
fantastic
stuff,
heel.
He's great. Like, he really is. He's great. All of his stuff makes sense. It's just like, that's why when people are like, oh, he's making fun of that stuff, it's like, well, he knows what he's doing. So, like, maybe he's not as wrong as you think he is.
I mean, he's not going to go out and have, your Zack Sabre Jr. match, but you don't need him to.
No, absolutely not. And that's like, everyone has their certain style of matches. Like, Marco told me afterwards that was his favorite match he's ever had. And think of the stuff Marco's done.
Yeah, I mean, it was wildly entertaining.
It was a moment.
It was a
is
moment.
what it was. It was. I'm very, very proud of how it went. Papa Stunt got up, defended his wife, because that's what anyone would do, is defend their wife. And he got put through a table for his troubles, and it was just, like I was a big fan of how that went. Very glad that
it told a story too.
Yeah, I was very glad that I put that last though, because nothing was going to follow that.
No, not at all. And the crowd was sitting on the edge of their seat through the whole match too, and that for a last match of a show, that's what you need.
Yes, and everyone needs to go to iwtv.live and watch the Black Label Pro Show, and you could sign up using promo code Black Label, one word.
There it is. So overall, show is a success, do you think?
No, yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm very happy about it. It's, it wasn't there. There were no real negatives about it. Like that, no one canceled. Like, we had a cancellation earlier that's why we had to move Jordan Grace, because it was going to be Jordan Grace and Maria Manic, and that cancellation happened, which Maria's got something going on. Not going to get into that. And then we had I don't remember who canceled on Kobe Durst, but that that happened, but it all worked out.
Yeah, Jordan and Kobe.
Yep, and yeah, it was all good.
It's awesome. I had a blast. Well worth.
I'm very glad.
Well worth the trip.
I'm very glad. You're a top-notch buddy.
I appreciate it, my friend. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a detour here. Is Jess available?
Yeah, Jess is right here.
Because the one thing I really love about Black Label is it's a family affair. And
yes.
I think that Jess has as much, if not more, to do with the success of Black Label than you. Because she's the brains behind the operation, frankly.
Yeah.
Can I talk with Jess for a few minutes, actually, if you don't mind?
Of course. Yeah,
I want to get her perspective. Yeah,
I'm gonna pass the headphones over to her real fast. Just give me a minute or so.
Sure.
Here.
Hello?
Hey, Jess.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I wanted to have you on because Black Label, probably more than any promotion I know, is a family operation. And you are the heart and soul of your family, and you are the heart and soul of Black Label. So I want to talk a little bit about what Black Label means to you, if that's all right.
Okay.
Talk about when Mikey presented, you're Mikey's fiance.
Yes.
When he presented the crazy idea of starting a wrestling promotion to you, what went through your head?
I was very supportive from the get-go.
Okay.
He went through, at that point in time, that was when he had Bell's palsy, and he came to me and said that, that was something he was truly passionate about, and he wanted to try and do that again. And when you love somebody, you fully support their dreams. So I told him, let's do it. And we jumped in with both feet and haven't looked back since.
Now, what roles... Mikey talked a little bit about you're basically the organizer behind things and stuff like that. What roles do you see yourself playing in Black Label? Are you basically the vice president in charge of keeping Mikey sane, or he said you do a lot of the concession stuff? What roles do you see yourself playing, an official title or really an unofficial title?
I think it's more of an unofficial. I think I just fill in where I need to fill in.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we need me in concessions or ticket stands or backstage or, whatever he needs me to do at the show, I do. Before the show, I take on a whole lot. I do all the running around and, the flyers and the posters and calling people and organizing and inventorying the merchandise. So I do a lot.
And
whatever he needs me to do.
You do great at it. When you got into this relationship, did you ever foresee yourself doing all these crazy things for wrestling promotion?
No. But I remember the first show because literally I had been to 2 independent wrestling shows in my entire life. So our first show was the third one I'd ever been to. Really? And I remember when I came in there, because I think I got there a little bit late after he did, and I walked in there and there was just people everywhere. There's the people setting up, there's all the wrestlers, there's everything. And I looked at him and I said, oh my God, I never realized this many people went into putting on a show. It makes sense to me now, but it was such a foreign concept to me at the beginning. When you walk in there and you see 40, 50 people in there already, and you're just like, who are all these people? Oh, this is how intricate the show is, and this is how many people are there to just put on the show, which is amazing to me. And he helps, tie all that together, neat little bow on top and gets it all out there. So whatever he needs me to do behind the scenes to get him to that point, I'll do.
But you need to give yourself more credit because you help tie a lot of that together as well. Mike was talking about how you're the organizer of it basically, and you're the one who makes all the lists and makes sure all of that stuff gets pulled together as well.
Somebody has to. So I've just taken that on, And I think he does, he gave me credit, but he doesn't give himself enough credit sometimes, I think, because he does a lot. He goes from work and then he comes home from work and does the wrestling stuff. He's on 24/7 with us, and I can't imagine doing that. I can kind of, okay, you need me to do this. I don't have to be consistently doing it all day, every day, like he has to.
I mean, you guys are also trying to run a family here. Is it a stressor on the family?
I don't think so. I think because you said we've run it so that it's a family thing. Our 7-year-old loves the shows. She loves the wrestlers. They've all become part of our family. So she walks in there and she knows everyone. So it's stressful leading up to it, but I don't think it's been a stressor on the family. We've just kind of had to.
It's just part of what your family does now.
Yeah, we just have adjusted. We've learned to adjust things over the last 2 years, and it's kind of just, we have a plan and we just adhere to that, and it's just our lives now. So
it's the family business now.
It is, and our 7-year-old will tell you that it is the family business, and she thinks she's one of the owners. So, and she is insistent that she will grow up and wrestle someday, and she is insistent that she will grow up and become the owner of BLP. So yes, it is very much a family business.
Yeah, talk a little bit about her, because she's become, I don't want to say the mascot, but basically she's absolutely beloved. And she, because I've known Mikey for so long, and just seeing you guys together and seeing her grow up and stuff like that, just seeing her light up, with this sort of thing. This seems like an absolute gift to her in some respects. Oh,
she adores it. The first show, I was certain that she was going to be shy. Like, there's all these tall, big dudes, and she is just walking up to them and going, hi, my name is, and I think at the time she was 5. I'm 5 years old, and, I own, like, this is my company too. It's not just Mikey's company, it's my company too. And I was just like, whose child are you that you're, like, so confident walking up to these people, But since then, like you said, she has become, everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. She loves it. She wants to be a wrestler. She wants to be involved with wrestling. She'll sit and watch wrestling shows on TV. Like when Michael turns on the wrestling shows to scout people, she'll sit there right with them. She'll have the comments. She'll be talking with them about it. So, I mean, she loves it. It absolutely has been a gift. And seeing her grow up around these people for the last almost 2 years, I can see just a change in her in those 2 years.
So it's really been something that's brought the family together in some respect.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And with the baby as well, everyone loves. Thank you for letting me hold the baby, by the way.
Oh, no problem. She loved you.
She did. It was so cool. It was so cool. But just like you guys are, like, it's not. A lot of wrestling promotions are just one guy, or just a couple dudes or something like that. You guys are a united family. There's the mom and the kid and the baby and and Mikey and stuff like that. It's really is that important to you guys to kind of show that united front?
I think it is. When he came to me with the idea, and I go, oh my God, we get to run a business together. Is that what you're saying? He goes, yes. I go, I am so excited about that. I adore him. And like I said, anything he wants to do, I'll support him. But it also made me so excited that he trusted me enough to go into that and want me to be like his partner in doing this. So, yeah, I mean, like, from the get-go, we said, like, this is going to be a family-friendly, show. We're going to do family-friendly shows. And I mean, if we're going to do those kinds of shows, we might as well bring our family and get our family involved.
Were there any points where you've had to pull the reins in and say, hey, maybe this isn't such a good idea, or points where you've been like, okay, I'm a little worried about this? Because you're the voice of reason in a lot of respects.
I think I'm just a more cautious one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there have been, like, an instance or two where I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? And, he'll just like, yeah, it'll be fine. And he's right. He doesn't over worry. I do. And so all the times that I've over worried, it's been for nothing. So that's just my personality.
But overall, you really think it's been, I mean, could at this point, could you even see yourself, your family life without Black Label?
No, like, I forgot how it was 2 years ago. Like I said, I said to him the other day, I was like, what did we used to do in our free time? Because 2 years ago, there was no Black Label. A year ago, there was no baby. So it was like, what did we do in our free time? Because I feel like, we're doing one thing or the other. But, I love doing the shows. I love Black Label Pro. I love how happy it makes him to do Black Label Pro. And I will fully support him and, everything he wants for this company. I'm very excited that he decided to make that leap 2 years ago, because I feel like it has been nothing but a positive thing for us and for our family and for, the area doing the shows and all the people that we've gotten involved with. I tell him, I feel like we've just made this big, giant, dysfunctional family of, like, all the people that, our crew and our wrestlers and our, announcers and, all that. I feel like because we've had it be so family friendly and because we've had, like, just that kind of attitude and that laid back, nice attitude. Like, I feel like we have really good relationships with everybody that's involved.
That's definitely the truth. Jess, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank you for sitting in with me. I know I'm sorry if I put you on the spot a little bit, but you guys are really just a united front and just really a family. And I think it was really important to hear your voice because you are as much the heart and soul of Black Label as Mikey, if not more. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate it. This is the first time I have ever been on a podcast. So I am sorry if I talk too fast or...
Not at all. No, you did great. You did absolutely great.
Thank you.
Well, we love you guys, and hopefully we'll see you soon. We're going to see you guys in August at Scenic City.
Yes.
Cannot wait.
We're very excited.
Send Mikey my love, and we will see you guys soon.
I will.
All right.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Later. Bye.
Bye.
We didn't do it.